What's up, everybody? It's Colton Stanley.
And Logan Clemens.
And welcome back to the Getting Technical podcast. On today's episode, we have two special guests, and it's kind of a special week here. We're, putting out two podcasts in 1 week, so it doesn't really happen here.
Yeah, we've been running on a time crunch. We've kind of, been thrown around since Skills USA. We've been waiting on the results for that.
Did we get those back?
Yeah, we did do good. We did pretty good, actually. The only thing that was our problem really was the test, but, since it was me and Colton's, first year, we didn't really know what we were getting into. It's kind of hard, I know you struggled, but that's not something we study. We kind of get thrown into the podcast and do that kind of stuff, but we're not really technological people. I don't
No,
think.
definitely not.
So, like, knowing all the names for the chords and everything, you don't memorize that or search that up. You just kind of, know how to use the stuff and you use it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and all we know how to do is run it. So you guys are doing the job fair, right?
Can you guys at least
introduce yourself?
Yeah, introduce yourself first.
I'm Morgan Myers. I'm Audrey Hamilton.
All right, so can you guys give us a little bit of rundown of what you guys do on the job fair?
I'm the ad creator.
And I get into contact with people.
So starting with you, Morgan, what do you kind of do?
I basically get out the information, such as make a flyer for our Facebook, the Marion County Technical Centers, and I created a QR code to make it easier on Audrey, where people could sign up virtually for it, and I'll be checking people in as well.
And Audrey, what do you do?
I call people and I email them from past job fairs. So I look through all the information, I get their numbers, get their emails, whatever. But I'll also be checking them in and helping them set up.
So how much work has really been involved with this? Because, me and Logan, we don't really get to see it that much. I know you guys come back here, call every once in a while, but we don't usually, we didn't really know about the ads or anything.
It takes a lot, a lot of dedication to it, because it's every day we're having to come in, create an ad, get the word out, and let people know.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that. Yeah, what was it, Tuesday with Mr. Michael, about, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it seems like the tech center here, it seems like the kids are a lot more hardworking than rather over there. I don't know if you guys agree or not, but
yeah.
It seems like, when you love what you're doing or you're interested in it, you're passionate about it, so.
And what I want to say is, we're more dedicated over here than most schools are because, it's I want to say it's a job. It's not this is serious. People do this for money. This is a full thing. It's not over in high school where you just do it because you need the grade. Over here, yeah, you need the grade, but it's life skills. You have to work for it, and people do this for money. People pay for this. How we work for Mr. Lanham, and you for when we started off the beginning of this year, you printed papers and people bought those.
Yeah.
So I think that understanding this from our point of view, it's, we have to really work for it. And I'll give them credit for, what they do because it's not easy.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially picking up after Jeffrey with how good of a job he did, that's a hard shoe to fill.
Yeah.
And I think that, they're doing great. And I think Morgan has a pretty great chance of getting Student of the Year. So,
we wanted to talk about your skills performance, if you could kind of go over that a little bit.
What really hurt me the most was definitely not competing in it last year and it being my first year there.
You did place though, right?
Yes, I did.
Audrey, do you think you're going to pick up on that next year, or do you think you're just going to
Or do you think you're just going to do law and public safety again?
Well, we figured out that you can actually do 2 events, but they just have to be in separate programs. So I might pick up where Morgan left off, and I probably will also compete with law.
And I don't want to say what Morgan did was easy because there was a lot of work into it,
We got to see it. She was back there printing out.
Yeah, and she had, I think, it felt like a 500-page book, but,
essay on her life.
It was actually 41 pages.
And we sat there, and for us, we were in a stressful point. But looking at that, I was like, I couldn't even imagine, sitting through that and doing all that.
Poor Logan had to experience me running out of divider tabs.
Yeah, it was. I was searching for folders for about 45 minutes. So, I think everybody has a role that's tough to fill, but I think Morgan had it probably the worst this year.
Probably, honestly.
I was an individual event, like me and Megan.
That individual events are kind of hard too, because
it's only you.
Us, if we're being honest, I can blame stuff on you. You can blame stuff on me. I mean, when it's just yourself out there, I mean, you have nobody else to blame but yourself.
And it all comes back on you. But, tying into the job fair, I think this really helps you be more professional, with, the job interview and everything, it really helps you just, we always talk about it, grow up. Most of the people over here, we're more like grown-ups, we're not, and like what I want to say again is like, it's like a job, and that obviously a job interview, you're taking that as serious as you can. And what I think it just helps you do with the job fair and everything, you're talking to adults, you're talking to real businesses, real people that really are passionate about what they do. So you kind of have to be an adult. You have to grow up for a little bit and, talk to these businesses like you're like a full-on job. And I think, personally, that helped you out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, to touch on that too, like Mr. Lanham, he does the interviews for us. It's like the introductory to his year. I mean, I think I've been here 3 semesters now. You're completing this year. You're completing this year, and I think she has one year left. But, it's those job interviews help out a lot more than I think he even realized, and especially in, your skills competition. That probably helped out a lot.
It was such like a different atmosphere.
Uh-huh.
But I've also had prior experience with interviews due to my pageant experience. But it was like nothing I ever experienced before.
Was it like set up as a job interview or like job interview?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Our podcast didn't go very well. But.
No, it did. I went over our scores and everything, and to be honest, we did actually amazing in every category, and what we lost the most points on was the test.
Yeah,
I told you from the beginning.
Common knowledge wasn't
I knew what was going to be the problem from the beginning was going to be the test scores, but that's what gets you. Now, Audrey, what did you do in skills? Can you give us a little rundown on what you did?
I was in the Law and Public Safety Quiz Bowl. So basically, it's kind of like a Jeopardy style game where you answer questions about law and public safety. We mostly had questions about like court cases and stuff like that and what happens in court. The thing that killed us really was being trigger happy. It's our first year, you think you know the questions, you think you know the answers, but we just didn't. And we even studied, but the study guide wasn't anything like the questions they asked.
I think that's usually how it goes. Me and him really went over our study guide well, and
pretty hard.
He even sat down and took notes on everything that we would even thought we'd need to know, and we go in and they completely switch it up on us. We thought we were going in making a 3-minute podcast, and
it
we
turned
come
out
in
to be a
1-minute audio, like a radio
news
station.
production.
Yeah, news. What they called it, a newscape. And actually, we have Colton's paper here that has pretty much everything on it that we did, and we have our thing. And
yeah, it was an NPR style.
Yeah, it was an NPR news style. So what we kind of did was we really, right there on the spot, we kind of just threw together research, and we were like, okay, this is what we got to do. And what we had came up with was, we came up with our 15-second introduction, and then we had to introduce our topic. So we had to tell them, basically broadcast what we were going to talk about, and then we had to do our interviews. So, and we got all that done. We got our whole thing done. We got our 30-second ad. We got our outro and everything. And we figured out we were completely wrong. So we had to go back, and we were like, okay. So we redid it, and then we figured out we didn't have to have just one interview. We could have multiple. And so
which we kind of found that out like halfway through.
We kind of found that out halfway through.
Yeah.
And so we kind of scrambled, and we found out with one, and we kind of talked with the judges a little bit, and she told us that we could have as many interviews as we want. So I think me and Colton kind of just joked around with it a little bit, and we were having, I think we were having more fun than we were actually taking it serious. And to look,
we definitely laughed and like goofed around more than anybody else.
Didn't you guys like try to talk to someone and they were like zoned in?
Yeah, they were. The one dude,
a little disrespectful, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, he was really focused, but then there was a couple like. There was a guy that stood out, and I think he was meant for us. I don't want to say that like somebody's meant for you, but he kind of just spoke out to us and kind of talked to us about it because he literally reached out to me and Colton and gave us probably one of the best interviews we had because
he was definitely fit for the type of interview we were doing, and he really knew what he was talking about.
To that
you
point,
could tell he was thinking
and to that point, I don't want to say that we didn't have enough or the right person, but I think that was the right person, and we just happened to come across them because how often did just somebody reach out to you about something, you know?
Yeah.
Not very many people reach out to you in a public sense, but I think he kind of knew where he was at and what he was doing. But
some people are just like that, though.
Yeah.
Like, out of the box.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah. So getting back to the job fair, like, if there's anybody listening that may be interested in it, like, how long are you going to take people, like, applying, and then where can they apply at, and, like, do you have any information you can give them on here?
So they can apply at our Facebook ad. We have a QR code that is a link to the registration, and I'd say the deadline is probably like May 1st or May 2nd because that's really when we need to be starting to set up. So I've just been telling everyone the latest they can give me an answer is May 1st and 2nd.
Alrighty. So how many businesses are going to be here?
As of right now, I have 40 coming, but I'm wanting 45, and that'd be our cap off.
All right. So we say, what, five more spots to fill?
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, if you
Please
anybody
reach
out here.
out.
Yeah, if there's anybody out here, please reach out. Let's move on to our commercial.
And thank you to our sponsor. Sponsored by Farmington Subway, where they are now freshly slicing meats on site. Stop by and try one of our new meatier, cheesier deli heroes off the Subway series menu. Subway. Eat fresh.
So, you know, can you tell us a little bit more about, like, what classes you've taken here in the Tech Center? Because that's really the main focus of our podcast, is just bringing the light on, our class and, our podcast, but, the whole Tech Center.
I've taken one of Miss Lupo's marketing classes, and that was my freshman year.
How was it?
It was okay.
Yeah,
It
I
wasn't
gotcha.
one of my favorite classes. Like I said, Miss Lupo's class, it was okay. It wasn't my type of marketing class that I would take because it was more like a bookwork type of class. I'm not a bookwork person.
I'm not either.
But I'm also in law and public safety, and I'll be completing in it this year. I started it last year. I got accepted my sophomore year into it, and I absolutely love Mr. Neal. He's became one of my biggest role models. And
It seems like a lot of people do, to be honest.
Yeah.
Never really talked to him, but
Yeah, we're a hands-on class, and Audrey will agree with me because she is in that class
yeah, I
as
forgot
well.
about that.
So we started it together last year. Yeah. So we've done kind of the same stuff and down the same path. But after that, I want to be a paralegal from it. But I'm also in marketing with Mr. Lanham, too.
That's a fun class.
I know. But with him, I've taken most of my classes this year because it was just an easier route for me my senior year due to only having to take one of my classes at North.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. So I'm basically like a tech rat, but I'm basically in Mr. Lanham's room all day. I'm here in first block and fourth block. So start my day
That's
with
half your day.
I know.
Then you're over at Law and Public Safety, right?
It's law and public safety, third block, and then I'm over at North on second block.
That's not a bad schedule.
No.
That's a dream schedule. So, what would you say really highlights the Tech Center here?
Definitely the atmosphere, no doubt.
Yeah.
Because it's like a simulated workplace. That's what it is, and that's what it's made for. We take it very serious over here.
For sure, because, it really is the
A job.
workplace. Yeah.
It is like a job. For example, the job fair, me and Audrey come in every day and do it. Clockwork.
Yeah,
And
no,
same-
you guys make our podcast look easy because how much time you guys put into it. I know, when I was printing out those books for the Board of Education, people pay for us to do work for them.
Yeah.
And it
And
has to look professional or
Yeah.
you're not going to get your business. And that's kind of what funds our program back here.
Exactly.
So, it
If you
works
mess
both
up-
ways.
If you mess up, it's going to reflect on us and our teacher, and we don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
Because we want more good to reflect in the Tech Center.
Yeah, we've had our moments this year, but
It's okay, though.
yeah. So, Audrey. So how many years have you been here at the Tech Center?
I've been at the Tech Center since my sophomore year, so that'd only be 1 year.
Dang. What classes have you taken?
I have taken 3 of Lanham's marketing classes. I've done projects for 2 of the classes, and then I'm doing the job fair this year. Mr. Neal, I started him last year. So I took my classes with Morgan, and then I am in his class this year. I have 2 blocks with him. So this semester I'm at the Tech Center 3 out of my 4 classes, and I really love it because it just makes me feel so much better, and I actually look forward to coming to school now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's definitely one of the perks here at the Tech Center. I mean, it makes your day a lot more enjoyable. And we got a great principal out there, too, that, he does a really good job with it. And I think he's been here, he said, Tuesday, 3 years, 4 years? Because I think he said this is the first class he is actually getting to see graduate, that he got to see start as freshmen and go to seniors. So that's pretty cool, too. What would you say the favorite class or your favorite class or the most memorable moment you've ever had is over here?
I have a lot. One for Mr. Neal is definitely like our life advice.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely. Like he's like the number one person to like go to. Like if I need help while we're doing like a case study, he will answer it like immediately. Now he might not hear you at first. He's gonna kill me when he listens to this, but he might not hear it at first, but he'll definitely get to you.
So you have to repeat yourself very often.
Sometimes.
Okay.
And Audrey, I think, will agree on that one.
Yeah.
And Mr. Lanham definitely Skills USA.
Yeah, there's some moments that, I mean,
Like
I wish we could show you guys, like, some of the stuff we saw.
But
Like, visually and, like,
I've
some of the stuff
never
we heard.
seen him, like, so, like, motivated and, like, motivated for, like, us to do good. Like, when he was walking me to my area, I saw pure fear in his face as I was starting to walk through the door.
Yeah, I felt bad for the guy, dude. He was probably so stressed when we went out there to start. I mean, we couldn't find our room that we were supposed to be in. He put us in the wrong building. I just want to point this out first. Then, so we're like walking, me and Logan, we're just locked. He sent us into the nursing room where they were doing nursing competition. So we get back, and we're like, Coach, where are we supposed to go? And he's like, oh, I don't know. We got there, dude, and I actually think that's the most scared I've ever saw him before. But, I mean, he really does a good job with it, trying to prepare. And I think, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure he helps out the whole tech center when it comes to skills and stuff. I know, like, he's all about getting as many kids
Like,
as he can registered.
I think him and Greenlee do the most.
Yeah,
because Greenlee keeps track, and then Lanham gets everyone going.
Audrey and I had to help out Chef in his class. So, like, Lanham's kind of like...
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
But another memorable thing that I will remember, I had no clue where to park at Fairmont State and how to get down to the Feaster Center. So he told me to park at Penn's Hall. So I park at Penn's Hall. He's trying to guide me to get to the Feaster Center. And he told me to walk into the state police like bunkers, like where they're keeping them. And I'm like, Lanham, there's like people standing out the hallway. And he goes, no, don't go in there. Don't go in there.
So I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you got hit that night, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
And who was that by?
Audrey, but...
Oh, dang.
But
So you want to speak a little bit on that?
She was in my blind spot. I was trapped by two
Supposedly.
trucks. She was in my blind spot. I swear, I wasn't going fast or anything. I wasn't distracted. I was never on my phone. I'm never on my phone whenever I drive. And I just backed up, and I was with my friend Michaela, and we bounced forward, and she was like, did you hit something? I said, no. And I was getting ready to drive away. And then Michaela hopped out, and then I hopped out, and Morgan was so mad. And then she realized it was us, and then I was like, thank God. And then we checked her car. There was no dents, no scratches, no nothing.
there was a dent at first.
And then
it popped out.
Michaela rubbed it out, and
I was on the call with my mom. Well, I was on call with my mom, and I just feel myself get, like, flung forward, and I'm like, what just happened? Like, I was, like, in pure shock, and this was, like, right after I got my award. I was, like, so happy.
You were on top, and it was like a roller coaster. You started off at the peak, and it just went down so quickly.
I know, because, like, I just remember, like, being, like, so shaky, because I was, like, so, like, I was, like, on an adrenaline rush because I didn't think I was going to place at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at all. So, like, when my name was called, because I was, like, the very last thing to be called, and Audrey and Colton will both agree on that.
yeah.
And because I was, like, freaking out the whole time, and Lanham kept on, like, looking back and checking on me. But I was, like, on that adrenaline rush. I just hopped out of my car as fast as possible. I was like, did you just hit me?
Yeah, because I don't think she realized who hit her at first.
Yeah, no, I definitely didn't realize because I drive a Jeep, and so there's a tire, and the tire caught most of the impact, and so I didn't feel it at all, and I was very, very sorry. I gave Morgan a card. I wrote a whole paragraph in it, gave her $20, gave her favorite candy, and then Michaela gave her more candy and a Celsius.
But
and then Michaela rubbed it in out, so we're all good. But yeah, we had good times here at Skills USA.
It's definitely like a memorable thing that I will remember forever.
And if you get to do it more than once, I think it's definitely an honor to get invited to do it, and it's a great time, especially with Mr. Lanham. He's just a funny and great guy to be around, and runs a good classroom too.
He's a seat guarder though. Oh jeez.
Yeah. So yeah, I was walking in, and he was like standing like all spread out, like standing. I was like,
with his arms crossed.
And then everyone was like, "What's this kid doing? What's this guy doing?"
He's like, "What, Landon? What are you doing?" I'm guarding seats. But yeah, it was definitely a memorable time,
yes.
and I think the whole school got a lot out of it.
Yes.
We had
one state champion.
One state champion. That was culinary, right?
Yeah.
Man,
we had 10 medalists.
Chef is having a good year this year.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a year to remember.
But he also has like really, really good students as well.
Yeah, he wrote them a letter saying about how proud he was and how he's never had a group as talented as they've been. I mean, they're really good. I mean, I've tried their food several times, and I mean, it's amazing. So they deserve that win down at
Skills. Yeah.
Then they had that other competition. I can't remember what that was.
It was the Hospitality Cup.
Yeah, it was
they
down
won
at
that.
Charleston.
So I mean, yeah, hats off to them. I mean,
like
great
kudos
job
to them 100%.
So is there anything else you guys kind of want to add about the job fair? Because I mean, this is the perfect opportunity.
Just if you want to reach out as soon as possible.
All right, and then you should also be able to see us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Wait, do we have Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, Instagram and TikTok. And yeah, so that should be a wrap. But also want to mention, our sponsor one more time. Thanks to our sponsor, sponsored by the Farmington Subway, where there are now freshly slicing meats on site. Stop by and try one of the new, meatier, cheesier deli heroes off the Subway series menu. Subway, eat fresh. So there was a few more things that we mentioned that we kind of want to talk about. So you are the vice president here at the Tech Center, and then president is Abby Getz, correct?
Correct.
So we had a podcast with her. It was maybe the second podcast we did. I think I was just a sound guy then. That was a long time ago. But so we kind of we got her perspective on the school and everything else. And I know we've already got that, but we were wondering if you could maybe talk a little bit about, your role as the vice president.
Me and Abby kind of like bounce ideas back and forth off of each other. Like she said, like she is president and I'm like her assistant basically. But she always asks for my input on things. Like, for example, we are doing a graduation fundraiser for caps and gowns. Well, not caps. We're just doing gowns.
Yeah.
So we were, like, bouncing back off ideas from each other. But it's too late to, like, create an actual fundraiser. So we went around and asked people for donations. Like, we got that idea from each other. We're definitely a team. Like, me and her are, like, I wish you guys could see, like, we're tight when it comes to this stuff because we want the best interest for the Tech Center.
And that helps out a lot. I mean, if you have somebody that you have good chemistry with and you can work back and forth and, put you guys together and you can make something, pretty powerful.
Yeah.
So can you tell us the rest of the staff on, from, do you guys have a secretary?
Yeah.
All right.
Her name is Emily Gooden.
Okay.
And she's so great. Like, she takes notes every meeting, like, what we need to cover. Like, she keeps us in line. And then we have Hannah, who helped with fundraising as well. Like, she calculated how much we got in, and yeah.
All right. So
basically a treasurer's job.
Yeah. Alrighty. So yeah, that's a wrap on the podcast today. And we appreciate you guys coming out and
anytime
talking to us. So I think it went pretty well. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Our TikTok and Instagram is what?
Marion County Tech Center.
And then you can see us on YouTube at We Talk Tech.